doing it on your own.
Okay.
But we have a pen and paper or pencil and paper because when I come back, so I'm going to give you instructions, you're going to do something, I'm going to leave. But if there is something that you wanted to discuss based on the task that I'm going to give you, that's why I have that there so that way when I come back in, we basically have like an outline of what we're going to be talking about. Okay? That doesn't make sense yet, but it will. So the first thing that we're going to do and the way that this is going to go, I have some questions. I'm going to give you a task with some instructions.
Okay.
You're going to the best of your ability, and understand there is no right or wrong. I'm not necessarily looking for a specific outcome. My purpose is just to observe what you do. So I'm not necessarily saying that you're going to be able to complete a task that I give you, but I am more interested in how you are trying to do something. Okay? So we're going to start with questions. Then I'm going to give you a task. I'll come back in. I'll ask questions about what you did. I'm going to give you another task, and then I'll ask some more questions. So essentially 2 primary tasks that we're going to be working on. And then after that, there's a session survey that you're going to fill out in the lobby, then you're done. Okay? So we're here for about an hour. It may take less time. A lot of it is kind of dependent on what happens, during the session.
Okay.
If you are faster or slower, who cares? It doesn't matter. And again, this is not an evaluation of you yourself.
Right.
It's us just observing people going through different things.
Okay.
So with the first question, or the first group of questions, who is your cell phone service provider?
AT&T.
AT&T, yeah, okay. And how long have you been with AT&T?
It's been a long time. When I first got my cell phone, I think we were Sprint. That was in high school, and then we switched over. So, it's been probably 10 plus years.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often does AT&T send you communications?
A lot.
Okay.
I actually get annoyed at it, so.
Okay. And are those communications that you signed up for, or are they unsolicited communications?
It's usually about paying my bill. It's past due, or maybe we have unlimited texting, and sometimes they still send us a message about your data is almost reached, but we have unlimited texting, so I never understood that, but yeah.
Okay. And for your service plan, you mentioned unlimited data or unlimited text messaging. What other benefits does your service plan offer?
Other benefits. I think upgrades maybe. Upgrades for a new phone, finance options. Other than that, I don't know. I haven't really looked into the other benefits. I just know that I have unlimited data and text messaging. That's all I really need it for.
Okay. Does your current service plan offer international calling?
It does, but obviously you have to pay extra for it. I've only used it one time, and it was a reasonable deal. I went to Paris in London and purchased the. I think it was unlimited data and international calls, but yeah, I've only done it one time.
Okay. So what we're going to do today, I have a couple of different things. This is a service plan, which is essentially it's prepaid service, so you pay in advance for the service that you're going to use.
Okay.
And you have a brand new Net 10 phone. So the first task that we're going to do, and you're going to use a computer to do it, is we want you to activate the phone. I'm going to put a coin here because you have to scratch that off.
Okay.
So during the process of setting up your account, you're not going to use any of your own personal information.
Okay.
If you're prompted for information, you'll make it up. The only 2 things that you won't make up are the email address and the password.
Yeah.
And you'll use this email and password as if you're prompted to make an account.
Okay.
Okay. So once you are done activating, or if you get stuck, raise your hand and I'll come back in.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So treat it as if it's your own. You have to open the box. There may be things in there that you need. I'm not saying that you need everything in there, but whatever you think you need based on the information that you're being prompted for, right? Feel free to do that.
Cool.
Okay. And I'll come back in. Again, if you get stuck, raise your hand. When you're done, I'll come back in for sure.
Okay.
sorry, let me do one thing. And this is a mouse view too. All right, all yours.
Okay.
Just wanted to reiterate a couple of things. So the first is you're a brand new customer and you currently don't have any account. You want a new telephone number, so you're not transferring any existing service.
Okay.
And your phone is not active. So right now, if you tried to place a call, unless you already did you already complete the activation or?
No,
Okay.
I haven't done anything.
Okay.
I was trying to figure it out.
No, and that's fine. So your phone doesn't work.
Okay.
So you want to activate it. You want to get a brand new number. You are not a customer, at least right now, of Net10, but as you go through the activation process, you are establishing service with Net10.
Okay. So I was trying to follow the directions, and it says text add, right? So I was trying to find the text messaging on the phone.
Okay.
But it was taking me through certain steps.
Right. So I'll say that the text add will only work if your phone is already active. So right now, your phone is not active.
So when I tried to log in using your information here, it said there's not a...
Correct, right. So
I have to create it.
So what I'll say is keep in mind that you don't have an account.
I don't have an account.
You don't have an account.
Create
You're
a new
brand new,
account.
so
Okay,
there's no
all right.
way that you could log in.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
as you're prompted for information, you'll make everything up.
Gotcha.
And this is what you'll use to
Okay.
create an account.
So I have to create an account first. Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm. so
Keep saying checking for update.
that's fine. We're going to switch devices. All right. So this is the exact same phone, so you can put that phone aside.
Okay.
Use this one. So you went through the activation process. You finished, got to a page where it's telling you basically some additional steps that you have to take. Let's assume that it's done. On the back of the phone is your phone number. So if you flip it over, there's a little pasty there that has a number.
Okay.
And let's say that on the phone right now, you see a text message. So if you turn it back over, there is a message. What I'd like to ask is the main takeaway from that message.
$10 credit for international calling.
Okay, so based on the message itself, your understanding of the message?
Free $10 credits. So I'm assuming that's to the bill or to the, actually, yeah, it's kind of, it's little.
So what questions do you have after reading that?
Well, is that like, would that be like $45 now? You know what I mean? Like, is that?
And when you say $45, what are you referring to?
So like I paid $35 for this, right? Do I get as much? Well, I guess it's a contract 3-day plan. First of all, I guess what is the $35? Like it's unlimited, but what does the 10 extra dollars mean exactly if it's already unlimited, right? So what more does that include?
Okay.
I guess.
Okay. And when you say include, are you talking specifically about international long distance, data, text, something else?
Yeah, it's just like talk, text, data. Yeah, I mean, what else do I need really? Is it the $10 credit? Is that for like next time? Can I use this on my next purchase? You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean?
Okay. So based on the communication itself, what action would you take, if any?
What action would I take?
Yes. So you get a text message, it's giving you information, you have a ton of questions.
Yeah.
What's next?
What's next? I would probably, honestly, probably wouldn't do anything. I guess it depends on how long I need the international the plan for. Yeah, I mean, if I only need it for this amount, it's kind of a pointless text message, really.
Okay.
To me.
Right. Okay. Based on the communication, are there any call to actions, or is it prompting you to do anything?
It is. There's a link, and then I can also, if I don't want to receive anymore, I can stop.
Okay. And you personally, what would you do?
Probably would just delete the text message.
Okay. Let's assume that you did have interest in placing international calls. Based on the communication that you received, at that point, would you click on the link?
Yeah, if I was constantly purchasing this plan a lot, yeah, most definitely $10. I mean, goes a long ways.
Okay. And what would you expect to happen once you click on the link?
I would expect the browser to pop up and maybe to fill out my account information to log into Net 10 and just like maybe confirm something to an account of some sort.
Okay. Let's go ahead and click on the link. Based on clicking on the link, something happened. Was that what you expected to happen?
To download the app? Or is this, yeah, this is an app. No, I didn't realize this was going to be an app. So that's different.
So at this point, what would you do?
I'd probably install the app.
Okay. And what benefit is there by installing the application?
I'm kind of,
and I'm sorry, if you need to take time to kind of read or, hey, I don't know, and, you want to take some time to find out, that's fine too.
no, I just like, I'm a tech guy. Like I like new things and features and functionalities. So like I would probably install the app to see what it had to offer. Mm-hmm. I'll be curious.
Okay. Let's go ahead and install it. And what functionality would you expect the application to offer?
What functionality? Maybe if this is like Net 10 app, a notification just popped up. I have 199 left. Maybe just an account of your data use, or just kind of details of what the $35. I'm really not sure, to be honest.
Okay, so I want to take a step back and just kind of look at everything that has taken place so far. So, brand new customer, activated service for the first time, used the computer to create an account. You got to the end, now your service is working. You received a text message about a $10 credit. Mm-hmm. The $10 credit, you had questions about how is that credit applied, or whether or not it's now 45 instead of 35, and not necessarily knowing exactly what that meant. That same text message had a link. Mm-hmm. You clicked on the link, took you to the App Store to download an app. You said you weren't necessarily expecting the application, but you clicked install, or you're going to click install. And as far as functionality of the app, and I'd like to do something even more general. When you install apps today, well, first, have you received text messages that prompt you to download applications before? No? Okay. So when you go to app stores, how do you decide what applications you want?
I already have an app in mind of what I want. Mm-hmm. So that's basically it. Like I go there and I search the app, or I search just like a common kind of like Yelp, or like mm-hmm. Restaurant Finder, or like Uber and Lyft, like transportation, something mm-hmm. of some sort, like it's just a general term. Mm-hmm. And options pop up, look at the reviews, and go from there.
Okay. Did it install yet, or?
Yeah, it was installed, but it's back to the screen here. Okay.
All right,
Open.
So yeah, please. And as you're opening it and you're kind of going through the setup, I'd like your feedback again on purpose. What do you think you'd be using the application for, and things of that nature?
Well, it looks like it's similar to like WhatsApp. Mm-hmm. In terms of like you can put numbers in. Looks like, I don't know if it can. It probably has, well, this is a brand new phone though, right?
Correct.
Okay, so yeah, it just looks like you can dial phone numbers. I'm not really sure what else it can do.
And when you say dial phone numbers, what do you mean?
Well, it says this application can dial phone numbers. So just not really sure how you remember the phone numbers or have access to any numbers really. But yeah, I mean, just from this screen, I'm not really I mean, it just says you can dial numbers.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure what else.
So I'd like to look at the relationship between, and I guess these 3 steps. So you got a text message with a 10 that said something about a $10 credit.
Right.
That same message had a link. The link took you to an application. You install the application is open. So the incentive to click on the link was because some message that said something about a $10 credit. Where is that $10 credit? Or what does that mean? Or how are you taking advantage of that initial $10 credit?
Well, it said something earlier. There was like a notification that said you have $199 left on your account. I don't know what that was about.
Okay. Another text message notification?
It was just like a pop-up.
Okay.
It said something about $1.99. I don't know. It was kind of a quick message.
That's fine. We don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
So if you wanted to take advantage of the $10 credit, what would you do?
I would probably keep following the steps here.
Okay.
So allow.
Okay.
Access to your contacts. Do I have any contacts on here if it's a new phone?
You don't, but let's assume that, well, there's none on there right now, but let's assume that, hey, yeah, eventually I'm going to have contacts, so.
Allow. And to be honest, I'd be a little hesitant about the entire process just for $10.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just allowing access to my contacts. It's kind of, it's like breaking into privacy or something, you know? It's like a lot of activate, like when you're trying to install something or sync maybe some information online, it says, do you want to allow access to your phone or contacts? I'm usually like, no.
Right.
I go, this is kind of getting creepy now.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So, and let's take an application or just application installs. And do you have an Android phone or an iOS phone?
An iPhone.
Okay. So on iPhones, you can go into settings and you can basically see, you know, from location, contacts.
Allow permissions, yeah.
Exactly, right. So how do you decide what applications should be granted, let's say, access to contacts or location or something like that?
Probably because I've just, like, I've known, like, I've used the app for a long time, or like, everyone uses them. I don't know if I was, again, I'm not familiar with Net 10, so it's different. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's just kind of like, I don't know if I would do it. There'd be a little hesitation.
Right. Okay. So do you understand the purpose and why that application would ask for permission with contacts?
Right, because you don't want to put it, like, you don't have any numbers, right? So in order to sync the contacts, it needs permission, right?
Is that what you're thinking as far as?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if my contacts were on here, it needs permission to access it. So yeah, I'm just saying I'd be a little hesitant if I was a newer customer. I'd be like,
right.
But I'll do it anyways.
Okay.
$10 credit, sure.
Okay. And how do you think, so if you think about Google Maps, and when Google Maps asks for permission for location, it's using your location because it's trying to orient you in the world. So that way, you know, the map knows where you are. When you think about Facebook and, you know, like it asking for, let's say, permission to access contacts, it's because, hey, I'd like to put you in touch with people in your contact list that have Facebook accounts. So what do you think for this specific application, why is it asking you for permission for contacts?
To make phone calls, right? So the numbers are loaded in your phone. It needs permission to gather those numbers, to sync them, right?
Okay.
Is that accurate?
Well, I'm asking you what you think just based on what you have
That's what I think, yeah. That's what I think.
Okay. So what is the purpose of the application?
To make international calls.
Okay. What I'd like to do now is, this is an international phone number.
Okay.
I would like for you to use the application to try to place a call to that number. And while you are researching how to do that, I will come back. I'll copy this too.
It's not letting me. It says net10 only allowed to make international calls. I put the area code in first, and I dialed the number, and that's what it pops up.
Okay. And are you using the application or the dialer to make those calls?
The dialer
Okay, so you're using the dialer within the application.
within the application, yeah.
Okay. And what is it saying, or what was the error message? Only allowed to make international calls. Okay, so what does that mean to you?
I don't know, maybe it's not, my account's not activated properly. I don't know. I thought I activated it right.
Okay. Are there any instructions on how to place an international call?
No, there's not really instructions.
And
I just clicked on the
if you had
dialer.
questions, I mean, because you got an error, so if you had any questions about what you're doing, what would you use to get assistance?
I lost it. Hang on. Where'd it go? I don't know how to work this thing. I don't know how to get back into it.
To which one? To the application?
Yeah.
Yeah, Android to iOS is 9 and 8.
Well, I'd go to more, and looks like you can either chat with customer service or ask us. I'd probably chat,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe I would click on ask us first,
Okay.
and maybe I'd click on how do I use net10 app.
And what would you expect to see when you click on that?
Well, at first I expected to see kind of like Q&A,
Mm-hmm. Q&A meaning what?
like questions and answers, like maybe 10 questions,
Mm-hmm.
10 most common questions, and then answers to it.
Okay. And did you see that?
No, it was just basically instructions.
Okay. And instructions on what?
This is you have to open the net10 application to make an international call. Once this app has been installed on your cell phone, you have to go to the international contact you want to call, save in your contacts, press the call button. Call should be connected to international contacts. Okay.
So based on the instructions that they gave you, do you think that we're following everything correct?
Save in your contacts. So now I have to go to my contacts apparently. Wait.
Based on the instructions, what additional questions do you have?
Do I have to save this in my contacts, like save this number in order to make a phone call?
Okay.
That's kind of what it, I feel like that's what it's telling me to do. Go to your international contact you want to call, saved in your contacts, and press the call button. So I can't make an actual call from here. I have to save a contact first and then make a call. Is that how this works?
Is that what it's telling you?
That's what I feel like it is.
Okay. So do you want to give that a try?
Sure. So I have to go to my contacts within the app, the NetTin app?
That's a good question. Are there contacts within, or do you have the ability to create and save a contact within the application?
Let's see. Contacts. It's not really. I thought it said go to contacts. Yeah, this is kind of confusing.
Okay.
Maybe I read it wrong. I thought it said go to contacts.
Okay.
Did I read it wrong? Am I doing it? Let's read it again. Once this application has been installed, you have to go to your international contact you want to call, saved in your contacts, and press the call button. The call. I feel really dumb here.
So the doubt that you have is based on the instruction and what to do in order to actually place an international call?
Say it again?
So the doubt that you have,
Yeah.
you said you're feeling really dumb.
Yeah.
Is it because the instruction is not clear, or because you're trying to follow the instruction and it's not doing what's there? So essentially, it's telling me to do something. I don't know what's doing, or what it's telling me to do, or it told me to do something. I did it and it's not working.
I give the company the benefit of the doubt because sometimes I do the instructions wrong, or I don't follow the instructions right the first time, so I have to go back and reread it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do that a few times, I get frustrated. I'm like, where the hell is it? In this case, I'm getting frustrated because I feel like there should be an add to contacts button.
Right.
And I should be able to put the phone number in just as easy as possible.
Right.
And there's not. And so now I probably call customer service somehow.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's going to cost me extra money or not.
Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes because now I'd like for you to review these two communications or those two emails. I'm going to see if I can get a bigger copy, and then I'll come back in and I'll start doing that.
So I type this in and review it?
No, just the hard copy itself. Just take a couple of minutes.
Okay.
I know the text is small, but I'm going to see if I can get a bigger copy.
Okay. Free credit to our international.
All right, so the question that I have is, and I'll put it in the context of what just happened. You activated a phone and you got a text message, and the text message had a link to install an application.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say instead of that text message that had a link to install an application, the link took you to one of those pages instead.
Mm-hmm.
Would that link to the web page, would that be better or worse than going directly to the application?
Well, considering the application is a tad bit confusing,
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably rather go somewhere like this.
Okay.
Because I'm more familiar with it.
Okay. So for those two pages that you see in front of you, is there anything else that you would like to see as far as information to make what you are trying to do more clear?
Is there? You're asking if I need more information to make it more clear?
Correct. So again, think about some of the questions that you brought up. So you're reading a message about a $10
Yeah.
credit. You had a ton of questions related to that.
Yeah.
So now instead of going to an app, you're going to a page, which is, at the bottom of the link for this $10 credit message.
Mm-hmm.
Are your questions answered? And if not, what additional information would you like to see?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the free credit means.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is like a free credit? Is that like $1? What is that? What is a free credit? I don't understand that.
Okay.
Stay in touch with one of your plan includes a free download the Nintendo app or start calling abroad by dialing. So I can just dial and not use the app. I thought I had to use the app to dial out or international. But
And so based on the message, you think that you can dial just directly from your phone?
yeah, I mean that's basically what it says, right? This is download the app, or this is start calling abroad by dialing. Not just random numbers, but it looks like maybe there's another activation or so of some sort by calling this number, which is strange because it's different. Like calling a random number to maybe, yeah, it's kind of confusing. I don't know.
Okay. So what questions do you still have?
So we're still trying to get the $10, right, for credit off the link.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's basically prompting you, it looks like you can download, you receive the free credit. So I'm assuming that's the $10 credit. And then it's saying you can download the app, or you can start by dialing this number. So I probably, if I had to choose one of the two options, I would probably download it from the App Store because that's the way I'm familiar with, and then go from there.
Okay. What I'd like to do now, just for a very short period of time, is instead of using the phone to find information about international long distance, I'd like for you to use the website to see if you can answer any of the questions that you have. So you know more or less what the message says. You still have a lot of questions about international long distance, how to use the application if you need to use the application, how to place an international call, what is this $10 credit for. Let's see if we can find the answer to any of those questions using the website. And I'll just give you like
Just
5
right here.
minutes or so. Well, no, not that specific website. I mean, just the same website.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so were you able to find anything?
I mean, I was just kind of like reading and trying to understand it better, but I was trying to, like the $10 credit thing, I was still trying to look for that, like if there's like any deals or anything like that. Wasn't really able to find like the $10 credit. I'm assuming that was just like an incentive to download the app.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. So online, you're looking for information regarding the $10 credit, didn't necessarily find anything to tell you what it's about.
Right.
Okay. What about international long distance? Are you so you had a lot of questions when you're trying to do it from the phone and the app. Were you able to find anything to clarify that at all?
No, I wasn't able to find anything like that.
Okay. What information did you find about international long distance?
Just like the levels, like the $5, the $10, and the different data.
And what do you mean by levels?
Looks like it had a smaller level of $5. I think it was like a $10 plan, and then had like I can't remember the other cost, but it's just different tiers of service.
So what's the difference between the tiers?
Can I go back to it? Or?
Absolutely, yeah.
I can't remember. I looked at it very briefly. Where's the deals? What was I looking at? Plans. So like, for example, here is a 1 gigabyte for $20, and 4 gigabytes for $35, and so on. So that unlimited talk, text, data. So yeah, it's like different plans.
Okay. And anything specific to international long distance?
International long distance. Looks like they're all the same in terms of like so yeah, I guess I'm curious, like I mean, they all say unlimited, right? But what exactly is like the 16? Yeah, it's kind of confusing with the data.
What do you mean?
Like the 16, that speed? I guess it is the speed. So is it certain? That is kind of confusing. Different like speed levels.
And I'm sorry, are you talking about the international long distance or something else?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how that works, to be honest. It just says unlimited talk, text, and data on all of them, and it says, I guess, different high speeds. I'm not familiar with like the speeds. I only, I open my phone and I use it for whatever, or I use Wi-Fi. I'm not familiar with this different speeds, so I guess that's a little confusing.
Okay. So we're done because we're at the top of the hour, believe it or not.
Okay.
I have a survey that we're going to fill out in the lobby, and then you are free to go.
Okay. All right.
So just make sure you have all your stuff. Don't worry about my stuff because we have to reset.
Okay.